chapter 47. 47. Where's my thing? Here it is. Okay, that's weird. I think I messed that all up. All right, chapter 47. And this is called Storm. In the history room, Zoe is reading Mrs. DeCoco's story. I've put it together from a quick Tuesday afternoon interview. She wants to read them all, but I wonder if I should be offering to help her with her own Coming to Butler County project. I know a secret. Zoe Samuels has not started her assignment. I haven't asked her why. Days go by slowly for me while I'm missing Mom, but time must be racing for Zoe. Our projects are due in a couple of weeks. This is sad, she says. Once you know the person so well, it makes you care. Can I see her videos too, Perry? I pass the camera across the dark oak table. She holds it close, tilts her head while she watches the interview. Outdoors, a storm brings flashes of lightnings and heavy drum rolls of thunder. The lamps in the history room flicker under their green shades. The thunder builds until it's so loud, Zoe and I can hardly hear each other. We take my notebook and camera and scrunch down side by side on the floor beneath the window. Mrs. DeCoco didn't tell about the trial, Zoe says. She taps her pencil on this page. She always keeps her story short, I say, but also she confessed. A confession is a conviction. So there was no trial. It seems like she shouldn't have to be in prison, Zoe says with a scowl, at least not for so long. Same for a lot of them. I mean, your mom, Big Ed, they'd never do that recidivism. What is it again? Recidivism, I say, in between rumbles and thunder. Yeah, that. Warren Doherty calls it her goose egg, I say. I make an O with my hands. Her big, beautiful zero. Because Blue River has 0% recidivism. She says it's proof that the place works the way it's supposed to. Zoe says, you have a really good project, Perry, telling the Blue River stories. It's important. The confession gets me the most. She puts her hand over her heart. When I do bad stuff, it's really hard to admit it. Yeah, but people want to be honorable, own up, and start taking steps away from bad things. And then there's Big Ed, she says. Did he even really commit a crime? He said he had no fight in him. What if he had tried to defend himself at a trial? What if somebody else had defended him? We stopped talking and listening to the thunder as the storm moved closer. I think about Mom. She confessed. She didn't get a trial either. I think about how she looks in the viewer of the small camera. I recognize her as Mom, but how is there something different about her in the videos? Maybe it's like Zoe just said. It's hard to admit a mistake. Still, something bothers me, especially as I hear more Blue River stories from other residents. I flip back through the notebooks until I get to Mom's interview. It's supposed to be finished. It's all written out. But it feels like some pieces are missing. I look at the first note I made before she even began talking. She always told me that she ended up at Blue River because she contributed to someone's death, and she told lies. Her father died, I know that now, but the lies? I kept reading, searching. Where's the part about the lies? I say it out loud. Perry, what did you say? A loud boom interrupts. Zoe crouches. Whoa, she says. She presses her hands over her ears as louder cracks of thunder sound. The history room walls shake. My mind races. What did Mom lie about? Did she tell me? Is it somewhere here in her Blue River story? There's a flash of lightning. The sky beyond takes an enormous breath. I swear I can feel it from the inside of the library walls. Boom. Boom! The crack of thunder is deafening. Seconds go by, then huge raindrops splatter against the history room windows. They come in a rhythm, like someone is throwing shovelfuls of thin cinders at the thick glass. So loud, Zoe says, her hands still over her ears. I nod and close the notebook. I'll look at it again tonight. When Zoe mom meets us in the history room, she says, Tom called and begged us not to head home until this passes. I think he's right. She glanced at the window. The rain is still pelting the library, pelting all of David City, and probably Surprise, too. It's not hailstones today, but I think about Mom, how she said the balls of ice crushed under her feet the night of the accident. What if the storm had not come, or what if they'd not gotten in the car that night? I'm standing in the history room trying to change history. Everybody knows you can't do that. In the closet at the Van Leer house, I read every word of Mom's Blue River story. I even read it backwards. I watch the videos again. I find the place in the beginning where she says she told lies. I search every note I have. I see this. They asked again and again. I told them again and again I was driving. And finally, I told them I'd been not careful too. Told them that you can't tell someone anything. You can tell them something that isn't true. I stand up straight in the Van Leer closet. I bump the warden's suitcase and it tips. The little reading lamp and the travel clock hit the floor. My heart thumps. Am I wrong? But why? Why would Mom tell them that if she hadn't been, or driving if she wasn't? And if Mom wasn't the driver, who was? Her father? He was sick that night with chest pains. Her mother? She'd said her parents were both in the back seat. Hey, Perry. Zoe's mom taps on the door, then pops her head in. I heard a clunk, she says. Everything's all right? She looks past me and sees the suitcase and the lamp. Then she gives me a long look. Perry, you okay? She asks. Fine, I tell her. My tongue will barely make the words. Okay, she turns slowly. Are you sure? I nod. She goes away. I have to get back to Blue River. I have to ask Mom about the lies. Chapter 48, Eraser. On Saturday, Mr. Van Leer is still hovering after we are through the Blue River bottleneck. I look over the heads and shoulders of other visitors. A flash of bright pink catches my eye, like an exotic bird has flown into the common. I hear a jingle, then a voice. Hi, Perry. I raise my hand to return, but I'm confused. It's Miss Jenrick from the school cafeteria, but her pink hair is in a tail and a pink motorized helmet tucked under her arm. It's Miss Jenrick, from the school cafeteria. She breezes by all feathers and rings and takes a seat across from a man with sad, sunken eyes. It's Mr. Wendell. He's the new intake. Not so new anymore. Mom waves in from the corner of the common. I'm hesitating. Van Leer is sticking to my heels like a gooey piece of gum. I need to give him the slip, and I haven't been quick enough. About 15 feet from me, Cece Rojas is doing that thing where she goes and stands on the linoleum by the vending machine with her arms folded across her chest. She swings her body and calls to Mr. Rojas. You can't get me when I'm over here. He can't. Residents have to stay on the carpet during busy Saturday visits. Mrs. Rojas scolds her daughter. Cece, respect your papa. Used to be I would go talk Cece off the linoleum. I was a Blue River helper. Used to be I could deliver cookies to Miss Jenrick and Mr. Wendell. Now I'm shuffling through the common, trying to get to the resident I have come to see. And I can feel Thomas Van Leer's fingertips pressing into my back. Perry, my man. Mr. Halsey slides in and greets me, palm up for some skin. I step forward and give it. Smacks. He pretends to bounce a ball through his legs and weaves it between Van Leer and me. I do a weave of my own and turn to put Van Leer behind me. I look Halsey in the eye and whispered, Can you keep 6? He bobs his head in a big, slow yes. He spins back towards Van Leer and shoots his invisible basketball. He claps a hand on Van Leer's shoulder and tells him, Man, have I got a new game for you. No, thanks. I'm all set today. Van Leer is ready with his excuse. I'm going to move along here and sit in on Perry's visit with his mom. Nah, you beat me solid last time. A gentleman lets his opponent try again. Mr. Halsey jabs his pointing finger at the floor. That's sportsmanship. That's how it's done, sir. Mr. Halsey hooks Van Leer with one arm and reaches back to ruffle my hair with the other. Then he takes him away. I missed Mr. Halsey. We're supposed to play that game in the yard before the weather turns cold, before he gets gated out. Two real dudes with a real ball, he said. You and me. But there's been no time for game. No time to sit still for Miss Gina and her scissors. Most of all, I miss Big Ed, especially our Monday night suppers. I look around the common. I want to come back home to stay, but I have a strange feeling about Blue River now. Feels like something less than home. I don't know what's happened. Mom eyes me as I walk up to her. I realize I'm the one who forgets to launch for the swing around, or maybe it's both of us. Perry, she bends to speak to me. What's up? We have an awkward hug. Is he being difficult? She stands straight and sets her hands on her hips in a make my day sort of way. Do I need to have a word with Mr. Van Leer? No, I shake my head. I have to get the lump out of my throat. My mom, the Blue River U-hauler, pulls our chairs close together. What's the matter, Perry? I hold up and wag my notebook at her. Your story, I say. Okay. Mom nods slowly. I feel heat in my cheeks. Will you let me read what you wrote? I hand over the notebook and she bows her head to read. This takes minutes that feels like hours. I sit and bump the toes of my sneakers together. She finishes and tells me, nice job. I asked her, did I get anything wrong? You might be missing a comma or two, she smiles, but the story is right. Doesn't seem right, I say. I get the part about the death. I know that was your father. Yes, but you also said you told lies, and I can't find the place is in my notes or videos where you said what the lies were, right? Right, Mom? That is so bad. It's like you tricked me. I can see why you'd say that. Her eyes pull up, but really I didn't. Everything I told you is true. But there's more, isn't there? I say. Mom gives me a sorry look, and I know I'm right. Is this one of those times when I have to respect your Blue River privacy? I'm afraid she will say yes. My knees begin to jiggle a lot. Mom reaches and puts her hands on them, holding them steady. Not entirely, she says. Okay, then, I'm asking, what were the lies? I will tell you that. Mom draws a deep breath. I lied to the police and the court. I watched her smile. The truth is, I was not driving the car. But Mom, that was your whole confession. Yes, it was, she says, and she didn't even blink. Chapter 49, Jessica. Ooh, who do we think's telling this story, this chapter? Ooh, what do you think? Eeny, meeny, miny, Danny. Perry's mom, right? Ooh, agree. We see lots of agrees. Good. Poor Perry. He looks like a fish hanging in midair after a daring leap from the pond. Or maybe it was she who has turned his pond upside down and spilled it. Either way, Jessica wanted to surround him with water again, give him back everything she could that was familiar. But he'd asked the question and she'd given him the answer. He caught his breath and asked another. Who was driving? For this, Jessica could do no more than shake her head. Sweat dampens the fold of her chambery shirt, and she began to peel a curl of skin from her own thumb. He wanted his answers. Perry, this is the part I won't tell you. You can't do that, Perry said. He was on his feet, angry and maybe even panicky. I can do it, Perry. I'm a mom, and this is one of those mom things. I've told you as much as I can. No, you're using that voice you use when you have to tell someone that they can't have something they want. Like when you tell Rez that a rule is a rule and there's no discussion. She watches him take 2 hurried breaths. It's at a racer voice. You can't do it. It's not when it's us. This was a seldom seen version of her boy. Offended and cutting free from his Blue River upbringing by way of this outburst. It was probably good as it was awful, Jessica thought. As Thomas Van Leer continued to stand in the way of her release, she needed her boy to have some fight in him. But it broke her heart to see Perry's beautiful face wincing in confusion. When he cooled, when he remembered that she loved him more than anything else, when he cooled, would he remember that she loved him more than anything else in this whole world? She swallowed, and it hurt like a throat full of toothpicks and bird feathers. I would never erase us, Perry, she said. But you are right. There is no discussion. I confessed years ago. I had my reasons, and there's no point looking back. Chapter 50. What the Meadowlarks says. What the Meadowlark says. On the way home from Blue River, I press my forehead on the window and stare out at the grassy flats. The hug my mom pressed into me is still here like a strap around my chest and shoulders. I didn't want it. I struggled with her, but she put it there on purpose. Does she know that I feel like I'm gone? Like I'm not made of whatever Perry Cook was made up before? Up front, Mr. Van Leer listens to a radio show where adults tell political jokes. He laughs at the voices. I keep watching the fields. A new thought climbs right up on top of me and sinks its claws in. For the first time in my life, I think that Mom should not be in the Blue River Co-ed Correctional Facility. I don't think she committed a crime. At least not the one she's in for. Not manslaughter. But if Mom shouldn't be there, where should she be? Where should I be? How can I not look back when the truth could change history? I look out the window to see the yellow chest and black bib of the western meadowlark perched on the fence post. His long beak is open, probably singing. My head makes up the words. We were just kidding you, Perry. Just kidding that your mom is a convict. We were just kidding about your whole life. That's what feels so bad. My eyes burn. The fields begin to blur into stripes and patches. Then a huge sob comes up. I keep them silent, force them back, and it makes my jaw ache. I slide down into my jacket until only my eyes stick out of my collar. I do not want Mr. Van Leer to hear me choking. I have to get it together before we get back to Rising City. When we pull up, we meet Zoe's mom at the open mouth of the Van Leer garage. She puts up her hands as if to say, stop. She's got 4 chairs lined up on the concrete floor. There's curled sheets of used sandpaper everywhere. When I slide out of the SUV, I think my legs might not catch me, but they do. Mr. Van Leer kisses Zoe's mom. They stand shoulder to shoulder while she asks me about my visit. How's Jessica? How's your mom today? She's okay, I say, but I can't really look her in the eyes. I tried to join Perry while he was with his mom today, Van Leer says. It would be nice to get to know her better, he sighed loudly, but I was invited to a card game instead. I feel his stare, but that's small potatoes to me. What are you standing? Dumb. It's so obvious, but Zoe's mom answers me anyway. Random chairs, she says. She and Mr. Van Leer laugh. I hope they'll look less random when I paint them all the same color. I'm thinking duck egg blue. I like to sand, I say. Yeah, for real? I nod. I used to spend Saturday mornings in the wood shop with Big Ed. Well, pull up a chair. Ha ha. And be my guest, she laughs, and I wish I could laugh back. Sanding is the perfect thing to do with the rest of the day. I stay hidden under a dust mask. I let my ears fill with the sound of the swishing and scuffing of sandpaper. I sand and sand because the chair has lots of parts. I rub all the paint layers array like the wood below. It's like Mom's story, I think. It's like the Blue River stories, the way you dig backwards to find the beginning. Wow, Zoe's mom startles me. That looks ready for some primer and a new coat of paint. How about a break, Perry? Are you hungry? I stand back from the chair. Not so much, I say. My stomach is quivery like the rest of me. Can I start another chair? Are you all right, Perry? Yeah. Okay, start another one if you really want to. I'm going to wash up and make you a sandwich. Just a half. Sounds good? Sure, I say. I guess I will have to try to eat that. Zoe's mom pauses in the garage. Perry, if there's anything I can do to help you, you will ask, won't you? It's okay to ask for help. I nod, but there's nothing she can do. While I work on the next chair, I think about it. I want to help Mom. I need someone to look at her story, really look. I only know of one person who might be able to do that. Thing of all, the only thing he's ever done for Mom so far is make a lot of trouble. That's probably it for now. Maybe we'll get a chance later to read a little bit more so we can finish this.